Hi everyone, my name is Atencia and I'm a Senior Financial Advisor at Nexia Sydney. Welcome and thanks for tuning in to our video blog series on financial planning for families. The first topic that I'm going to address is cash flow and budgeting, and really how to live on a budget. Now, why is this the critical first step that I need to be talking about? Because essentially that cash flow position that you do have really sets the foundation for your financial planning into the future. And I suppose that it does become quite difficult to move forward and start developing an investment strategy if there is no cash flow surplus in place. So how do we go about doing this, and how do we really set the foundation for turning your cash flow position into a positive? The first one is transparency. So there's you really need to have a pretty clear idea of all the income that's coming in and all the expenses that are going out. And there are pretty much a wide variety of tools that you can utilize, a lot of which now have an app form that you can download on your phone or your iPad. Some of my personal favorites are Pocketbook and Track My Spend, which is available from the Australian Securities and Commission's website. And they really assist with, okay, if we monitor the inflows and outflows of your cash flow for a month, we'll then be able to determine what's coming in and what's coming out. After that, it's pretty easy to put things like that on a spreadsheet. And the next stage, from my opinion, would be to categorize your expenses, firstly according to those necessary expenses like rent, mortgage repayments, utilities, things that are completely necessary, and there's no way of really getting out of that. Everything else above that is what I would consider to be discretionary. So within there, we're talking about things like gym membership, designer handbags, takeaway coffees or takeaway food. And it's really about, out of all those discretionary expenses, working out which ones actually do add value and are worth spending on. So perfect example is when I performed this own exercise on myself, I realized that on an annual basis, I was spending anywhere between $1,200 to $1,500 on takeaway coffee alone. And I had to make a decision as to whether or not that actually added value to my life. And did it? Yes, absolutely. So that's something that I'm going to continue spending. But what I'm essentially trying to say is that not all discretionary expenses really do add value. It's just a matter of working out which ones do and don't, because all those expenses you can make a decision as to which ones you're willing to forego so that you can add that towards your future wealth accumulation process. So really, after looking at that and tracking it, it's a matter of working out how much surplus, what can you forego versus which ones that you're not prepared to compromise, working out the cash flow, the surplus position that you have at the end of the year or at the end of the month, and then really putting a plan in place of what to do with that surplus income. And that could be towards, generating a portfolio or adding it towards a deposit for your future home or investment property. And really the key tip that I have is to, once you have that plan in place, to really stick to it, because over time you'll realize that it is building towards that future plan of yours. So if you had any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I look forward to you tuning into the next one.